Before you go any further with this video, I want you to answer this question in the comment section below. Will the Yonko system exist post-Wano? Will there be 4 emperors in the world of One Piece after the Wano story arc ends? I'll give you a second to pause the video, answer that question in the comment section below, and then come back when you're done. Done? Okay, let's begin. When everything is said and done and One Piece ends, Luffy will without a doubt be the most accomplished and successful pirate in history. Whatever he does is going to eclipse what the previous pirate king Goldie Roger did. It's going to be that big, and that much has been foreshadowed for quite a while. The great final war which Whitebeard alluded to is coming, and Luffy is obviously going to be the main person at the head of this war. Defeating the world government and spreading the truth of the world alongside becoming the pirate king is enough of an accomplishment for Luffy to eclipse Roger. But let's look at what Luffy has already done and what the public knows. Luffy defeated the 3 pirates with the biggest bounties in the East Blue. Then he went on to defeat the warlord, Sir Crocodile, but wait a minute, Smoker took the credit for that one, so that doesn't count. He then destroyed Enies Lobby, but nobody knows exactly how that went down, which means there's no word of CP9 being defeated or the Straw Hats escaping a busticle, just that Luffy and co destroyed Enies Lobby, which was one of 3 government strongholds, so that also doesn't fully count. Then he defeated another warlord, Gecko Moria, but he didn't actually take credit for that because the government covered it up. Then he punched the Celestial Dragon right in the face and escaped from the admiral that was sent to kill him. Then he co-conspired the second and actually largest breakout in the entire history of Impel Down, another one of 3 government strongholds. Then he invaded Marineford during the Summit War, meaning he assaulted all 3 government strongholds, something no man has ever done in history in the world of One Piece. Then he invaded Marineford again a couple of weeks later and rang the Ox Bell to make a statement, to define the end of the era and begin a new era. And he obviously went there so his crew could see the tattoo, the 3D2I one, but the public interpreted this as either a declaration of war or the declaration of the end of an era. Then he allied with the warlord Trafalgar Law and defeated another warlord, Don Quixote Doflamingo, who was also known as the underground broker Joker. Then finally, most recently, he defeated the strongest son of Yonko, Big Mom, and escaped her territory whilst she was batshit chasing after him. Luffy has now been crowned by Morgans as the 5th Emperor of the Sea, and he has a bounty of 1.5 billion, which was the largest known bounty in the series at that point, until 925 and 957 dropped, which both broke the internet. Then you have to consider that Luffy is the son of the world's worst criminal Monkey D. Garp, and the grandson of the hero of the Marines, Monkey D. Garp. Oh, and the adoptive brother of both, the deceased son of the Pirate King Portuguese D. Ace, and the chief of staff of the Revolutionary Army Sabo. So in the world of One Piece, Luffy is basically that dude. He is the GOAT. No man alive hasn't heard of his name, and he's already got 2 road poneglyphs, which means he's 50% there to become the Pirate King. The Yonko are the 4 greatest pirates in the world, but I definitely think it's fair to say Luffy is the 5th greatest pirate in the world, which means his title of the 5th Emperor is deserved. But why did I mention all of this, and how does this tie into the Yonko system? Well, let's look back at the accomplishments I just highlighted and focus on these 4. Luffy has defeated 3 different warlords and allied with another. His encounters with the Shichibukai as a system are countless, and even though the public might not know the full picture of them, the world government does. The only thing the government probably doesn't know is that Mihawk is on friendly terms with Luffy and Zoro, and that Boa wants to fuck. Other than that, the world government know everything about Luffy's encounters with warlords. Fujitora knows everything about Luffy's encounters with warlords. I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent here and talk about the warlords for a while, but trust me, it is very integral to my point that's coming towards the later part of this video. Chapter 210. Luffy defeated Crocodile. Crocodile was a warlord and the president of a crime syndicate by the name of Baroque Works, which actively worked to dethrone King Cobra, and Crocodile was basically a usurper trying to take control of Alabasta. Luffy was the hero of this country. He saved the innocent people of Alabasta by defeating the person who oppressed the country, and the Marines had to cover this up by saying Smoker was the one who defeated Crocodile in order to avoid the embarrassment. The world government gave pirates the ability to do whatever they want as long as they don't break any major laws and as long as they provide a service for the world government. That's what the warlords are as a system, and the world government allowed for Crocodile to oppress innocent people, and those innocent people ended up being saved by another criminal. You can obviously see how that could be embarrassing. Chapter 483, Luffy defeated Moria. This situation is a bit different to the other two, because Moria wasn't trying to do anything on the scale of Crocodile or Doflamingo, but Moria was still oppressing people, innocent people. We know this because when Moria was defeated, we were shown shadows returning into the bodies of innocent people and pirates alike. Just people that Moria deprived of their shadows. So that again is another time where the world government allowed for a pirate to oppress people under their rule and had to cover up the entire situation. Chapter 790, Luffy defeats Doflamingo with another warlord who he allied with, and this is the big one. Just like Crocodile, Doflamingo was a warlord who was oppressing an entire country, but unlike Crocodile, Doflamingo was a successful usurper. His plan didn't fail. He became king of Dressrosa by stealing the country from King Riku and by using the abilities of his subordinates. He managed to cover it up and make it seem as if he saved the country. But when Luffy defeated Doflamingo, nobody could cover it up because Fujitora, a marine admiral, went ahead and apologized for the entire world to see. What Fujitora did was basically what any good man should do. Tell the truth even though you'll lose face. Sure, it does make the world government look pretty bad, but it makes the problem with the warlord system a lot clearer for people to see. Before the issue with Doflamingo, people saw the warlords as assets to the government that the government had under full control. After the issue of Doflamingo and the issue of Luffy's alliance with the warlord, this began to change. People came to understand how the position of the warlords allowed warlords to do criminal things and get away with them. Then we fast forward to chapter 905 in the Reverie, and we get this short interaction between the silhouetted Admiral Greenbull and Admiral Fujitora, where Fujitora says, "We no longer need the 7 warlords," basically saying we need to get rid of them. Fujitora has gone and seen Vegapunk's new weapon, so he knows it can replace the 7 warlords, but ultimately, the main reason they want to destroy or abolish the system of the warlords is because of the warlords' actions in the past. Crocodile, Moria, Doflamingo and Law. All of them went against what being a warlord means, and the system began to prove a liability rather than an asset. When something is liable, you get rid of it. We also have Blackbeard, who used the title of warlord for his own gain and basically played the government, but I haven't spoken much about him in this video because I want to focus on Luffy's involvement with the system. The main reason the people came to find out about these things was because of Luffy. Without Luffy, Crocodile would have succeeded in usurping the throne of Alabasta, just like Doflamingo did, and the world would have been none the wiser. Without Luffy, Moria would have continued to oppress innocent civilians. Without Luffy, Law wouldn't have someone to make an alliance with, thus losing him the position of warlord. Without Luffy, Doflamingo would have continued to oppress the people of Dressrosa and the world would have been none the wiser. So technically speaking here, Luffy destroyed the warlord system. Of course, Fujitora played a very major role in actually getting the job done, but Luffy was the main catalyst to the abolishment of the system. One of 3 great powers in the world. So let's look at it like this. Luffy has already destroyed the warlord system, one of 3 great powers. We can all agree that he will most likely destroy the world government at the end of the series, so that's 2 of 3 great powers. But what about the 3rd great power? What about the Yonko system? This is where I finally get to the point after talking about the warlords for so long and talk about the Yonko. I do not think there will be a Yonko system in the world of One Piece after the Wano story arc ends. Just like Luffy indirectly destroyed the warlord system and just like he will inevitably destroy the world government, I believe whatever goes down in Wano will destroy the Yonko system. By that I mean, Kaido and Big Mom's character arcs end here. Kaido I am 99% sure will die, and Big Mom could either be killed, imprisoned, or even redeemed and end up becoming a good mother who abandons her ambition and ends up focusing on her family. All of those I'm quite sure could happen. Big Mom is quite vague, she could have some importance to Elbaf, but regardless of what goes down, I don't think there will be a Yonko system, so she will at the very least lose the title of Yonko. Once Wano ends, I think we're going to be very close to the final war. The next arc I think will be based around the 4th road poneglyph, and then it's time for Laugh Tale, where the Blackbeard conflict will probably be solved, and then once Luffy is Pirate King, the final war will go down and the world government will be dealt with. I could be very wrong on this, but that's just my general expectations for One Piece moving forward after Wano. A lot of people have theorized that with the defeats of Kaido and Big Mom, Luffy and Kid are gonna rise to the opportunity and become Yonko. But I just can't seem to think of a way that Kid becoming a Yonko is justified. The introduction of 2 new Yonko to immediately replace the old 2 just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think it's that simple. If you think back to the Summit War and when Whitebeard was killed, there was an entire year where there were only 3 Yonko. This did confuse me because Yonko just means 4 emperors, but regardless, for that year it was only Shanks, Kaido and Big Mom. Only when Blackbeard defeated the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates and took all of Whitebeard's old territories, only then was Blackbeard publicly known as an emperor. Where are Kid's territories? Where are his resources that put him on the Yonko level of authority and influence? Where are Luffy's territories other than Fishman Island? In order for them to become true Yonko, they will need to be amongst the 4 greatest pirate captains in the world. That needs to be undisputed fact. Sure, Luffy can probably fill the role of a Yonko. He's got so much shit to his name and he'll probably take Wano as territory after this arc. But a 4th Yonko, somebody else, I just can't seem to think of one, and that's why I think this system just won't exist. I don't think Luffy will be known as a Yonko post-Wano, but rather the guy who destroyed the entire system of Yonko. He's already disrupted the balance of power before, and he's going to do it in the future, so what's to stop him from doing it again? What's to stop him from doing it now? Luffy has no interest in conquering territory. Sure, he made Fishman Island his territory, but that was more so to provide him with safety, and he'll probably do the same thing for Wano. Maybe it will be a 3 emperor system again for a while, with just Luffy, Shanks, and Blackbeard. Or maybe there just won't be a system anymore. The reason it makes more sense to me that there won't be a system at all is because of the heavy foreshadowing of a great war that is extremely imminent. The Gorosei have said that there is need for a great cleansing. Akainu is a very active and power-hungry fleet admiral who will happily carry things out very differently if that means justice is being served. I think the Reverie was a trigger to the final war that has been foreshadowed for years now. And everybody is preparing. The revolutionaries are preparing. Whatever happened to Sabo, Vivi and Cobra is something big. The great cleansing that the Gorosei mentioned is something big. The introduction of this Emu is something big. Shanks talking of a certain pirate is something big. And the Yonko system is measly in comparison to this something big. Luffy tearing down the system and destroying the balance of power will be the perfect way for the world to enter a time of chaos. A time of full-scale world war. I'm talking nations and nations of involvement. How many people has Luffy helped in the past that would gladly offer their allegiance to him? Alabasta, Dressrosa, Water 7, all of these people, all of these nations will gladly come forth and help Luffy in this final war that decides the fate of the world. I think it's kicking off once Wano ends and there just isn't time for a Yonko system to even matter anymore. It's going down, and it's going down soon. So there you go, that's all my thoughts on the Yonko system post-Wano. I don't even think there will be one, but I could very well see Luffy and Kid replacing Big Mom and Kaido and becoming Yonko. It's possible, I doubt it. Luffy tearing down the system would be a much more plausible and satisfying way for the system to be dealt with. But what about you guys? What do you think? Do you think there will be 2 new Yonko? Do you think Big Mom perhaps survives and stays a Yonko? Drop a comment with your thoughts on the matter. I always appreciate comments from you guys and I love reading them. Please leave suggestions for whatever sort of video you want to see. I am grinding hard for the next few weeks considering we're all quarantined at home, so leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more One Piece content. I have been Fiji. Peace.